Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Before we get into today's show, if you can do me a small favour, hit the subscribe button if you are watching for the first time today. We are only one away from 31,400, so let's make sure we hit that next milestone today. On the show this morning, we're going to be talking about Bruno Fernandes, who has spoken out about his future, about rejecting a £700,000 per week offer from Saudi Arabia. We're also going to be talking about Ruben Amorim reportedly demanding that Manchester United sign Victor Gyökeres and Brian Mbeumo. And we'll also be talking a bit about the Jadon Sancho nightmare. These are some of the stories we will be discussing today. As always, I like to start my shows off with a question. I like to try and make these videos interactive. And my question is this for today. Do you think Bruno Fernandes has made the correct decision by staying at Manchester United? Do you agree with his decision? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We will start by talking about this topic. So, Bruno Fernandes spoke to the media yesterday. Obviously, he's away on international duty at the moment. And he spoke to the media about what happened effectively with Saudi. And he said that he spoke to the club, Manchester United, and apparently they told him that they don't need the money. I don't understand that. How is that even factually correct? That Manchester United apparently don't need the money? Really? I just can't fathom how that's even believable. Can you? We don't need the money. We don't need £100 million. Strange. Let me see if I can find the direct quote. It was in a video last night that came out. I think it was after. There's a couple of games coming up, isn't there, ahead of the Nations League, isn't there? Where is it? So it says, Bruno Fernandes says, there was an opportunity with Al Hilal. The president called me and asked if I wanted to move there. They were waiting for me to answer. I spoke to the coach, Ruben Amorim. He told me not to go. Manchester United did not want to sell me, and they told me that they did not need the money. He says, if I wanted to leave, they would have made it happen, though. I mean, okay, fine. Maybe that is true, okay? If we don't need the money, let's go out and sign all the players we need then. Let's go and get Gyökeres. Let's go and get Brian Mbeumo. Let's go and get a goalkeeper. Let's go and get a wing-back. Let's go and get a midfielder. Like, I'm expecting all of those signings to now happen this window. Because apparently we don't need the money, which means that we have enough money to do all the business we need to do, right? If Bruno Fernandes has been told by Manchester United that they don't want to sell him and they don't need the money, then based off that, we should expect all of those signings that I've just mentioned to be made. Obviously, Matheus Cunha is already through the door. Brian Mbeumo will be next. Then it will be Gyökeres. Then we'll be buying a goalkeeper. Then we'll be buying a midfielder. Then a wing-back and then a defender. So I'm expecting all of those transfers to happen now. Because we had an opportunity here to raise £100 million, which would have been 100% profit because his book value was zero because his contract's been paid off. So his book value zero, £100 million profit in relation to PSR, which could have got you a Gyökeres, a cheapish goalkeeper, like a £20 million goalkeeper. It could have got you probably another midfielder. You could have probably signed 3 players for 100 million, a Gyökeres for 60, and then maybe 2 £20 million players, right? And as I just said, we probably need another 6 or 7 signings this window to finally start rebuilding the team. A goalkeeper, midfielder, striker, attacking midfielder, a wing-back, a centre-back, maybe a couple of others here and there. So, I mean, if we do have enough money, great, no problem. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of those positions I just mentioned be signed in the next month or so. But I just don't believe it. We're in, £700 million worth of debt. We're asking the government to fund our new stadium. We're sacking every single member of staff. Those words just don't make any sense to me. If we don't need the money, why has Jim Ratcliffe sacked pretty much every single person who works for Manchester United? If we don't need the money, as Bruno Fernandes has publicly said to the media, why was our celebration parade for potentially winning the Europa League announced as being a barbecue at Carrington? That doesn't sound like something that a club who don't need the money would do. So I don't really understand this. I think he's kind of shot them in the foot here because when I read this story this morning, or it's not even a story, it's literally a direct quote from the captain of Manchester United. I spoke to Manchester United. They told me they didn't want to sell me, and they told me that they don't need the money. That is a direct quote from Bruno Fernandes, which he said to the world's media last night. But then on the other hand, you've got the dinner ladies, the cleaners, all of these people who work for Manchester United being fired, who are on really, really small amounts of money. I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, as Al says in the chat, we're sacking people, and they tell us they don't need the money. I don't get it. If anybody can understand, please explain, because it doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. Do you think Bruno Fernandes has made the correct decision? Do you think he should have left? Very interested to see how the fan base are feeling. I've got some people coming to me saying this is amazing news. I'm really, really happy. And then I've got other people coming to me saying, like, this is terrible. I don't know. I was personally excited about the prospect of Bruno leaving, and I know he's done a lot for this club. I know he's a quality player, but I did kind of see it as our Philip Coutinho moment when Liverpool sold Philip Coutinho to Barcelona. They raised a massive amount of money and they completely rebuilt their team. That felt like now for me with Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, it hasn't happened. The one thing I will say is this, though, right? And I think we do need to bear this in mind. Just because he's not going to Saudi doesn't mean that he won't still leave. Now, he also does say that he wanted to stay in the European top leagues. Okay? So there is still the potential that Bruno Fernandes, decides, maybe not decides, maybe he gets an offer in from a Barcelona or who else could be interested? You know what I mean? Like somebody else could come in for Bruno Fernandes and put an offer in, and his head might then be turned. I'm not sure who, but somebody could. That's the point I'm making. So, yeah, interested to see how this will all progress. I personally don't think Bruno Fernandes is going anywhere now, realistically, because no one's going to come and offer us anywhere near the type of money that, that Saudi Arabia would. Saudi were offering us, what was it, 100 million? Like, we're not going to get that same level of money again. We had the opportunity, and we lost it, which is, I guess it's fine. It is what it is, isn't it? There's not really too much we can do about it. But yeah, how's everyone feeling? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm a little bit disappointed, being honest. I am a little bit disappointed. I thought like it was the right time to let Bruno Fernandes go, but yeah, as I said, there's not really too much we can do about it now, is there? He will be leaving. He is now going to go. Sorry, he won't be leaving. I nearly said he will be leaving. He won't be leaving. He'll be staying at Manchester United. So yeah, anyway, let's move on from that. Let's move over to Jadon Sancho. Another really, really messy situation here. So I assume you guys have already seen this news story that came out this morning. That apparently Jadon Sancho, well, not apparently, Jadon Sancho is coming back to Manchester United. I mean, how does that all make you feel today? That Jadon Sancho is returning to Manchester United. I mean, that just makes my blood boil, to be honest. It really does. The fact that he had an opportunity to stay at Chelsea, a team where, let's be honest, Chelsea are on the up. They've just won the Conference League. They're going to be in the Champions League next season. They've got a new manager. They've just got top four. They've got a good young team. He was getting played quite a lot. The fans liked him. And he said, no, I want 350 grand a week. I'm not leaving. So it's just sickening, to be honest. It really is. So it looks like Jadon Sancho's coming back to Manchester United. And we know what that means, don't we? He's got 1 year left on his deal. And realistically, what's now going to happen is he's just going to run his contract down and he's going to leave in 12 months for free. It's so obvious. He's going to get loaned out, get what he wants, 12-month loan, and yeah. So Jadon Sancho is back and he'll continue earning his, I think his salary's around 250 if we don't get Champions League football, but it's still 250k a week is mental. And the thought that realistically, we're going to have to loan him out, right? We're going to loan him out, probably pay most of his wages, and then in 12 months he'll leave for free. I think he's going to go down as one of the worst signings in Manchester United's history, realistically. I don't know if you guys agree. We paid, 75 million for him, gave him stupid amounts of money, and I can't remember any game where he's really performed of any high level. So, yeah. What a disappointing signing, hey? What a shame. But what can we do? We just have to hope and pray. You know what, right? If I was Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, I would say to Sancho, either you leave on a permanent now, or we're just going to put you in the reserves. I literally would do that just as a message to other players that they can't just come here and rob a living. Whether or not that's possible, whether legally they can do that, I don't know. I mean, they probably can. Erik ten Hag banned him from the first team, didn't he? I would just do that. I wouldn't even care about the money. We're going to have to pay all his wages if we loan him anyway. Just literally say, Jadon, we're not going to entertain this. You had an opportunity to move to Chelsea. You didn't do it. You can just rot in the reserves and you can leave for free next summer. I would just do that, because the alternative is you loan him out, you give him what he wants, you probably pay all his wages and he leaves anyway. So I hope that they have a hard stance on this. I hope they turn around to him and just say, this is the situation. Yeah, this is the situation, mate. We're not going to give you what you want. Imagine how much impact that would have. Imagine how powerful that would be, and how much of a message that would send to other clubs and to other players if we did that. They'd be like, wow, these people aren't messing around, you know? So that's what I would do personally. Whether or not they will do that, I guess that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, Jadon Sancho is returning to Manchester United, and I really, really did think that he would stay at Chelsea, and maybe that was me being naive. Maybe I have been stupid there. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, disappointing. Right, where shall we go to next? Oh no, it's not Chelsea's fault. No, Chelsea wanted him to stay at Chelsea, guys. It's nothing to do with Chelsea. Chelsea were offering him apparently 150k a week, and he said no, because he's on 250 at Manchester United with 1 year left on his deal. It's just greedy. He had an opportunity to revive his career here. He had an opportunity to potentially even get back in the England squad eventually. If he continued to perform for Chelsea in the Champions League, there's a chance he would have got back into the England squad. So he had an opportunity to pick football here. But instead of picking football, he picked money. And that just shows what it's like being a modern day footballer, you know? Some modern day footballers, all they care about is money. And he wasn't willing to take a pay cut. It's not like he's going from, £100,000 a week to £10 a week. He literally was going from life-changing money to life-changing money, and he's already a multimillionaire. But anyway, we could talk about this all day. Let's have a look in the next part of the show. Everyone who's just joined the video, if you could do me a small favour, we've got over 500 people watching the show live this morning, which is amazing. If you could all do me a favour, hit the like button. It really helps more people to see the videos, so make sure you like it. Let's try and get to 500 by the end of this video. And make sure you subscribe as well. We're still one away from 41,400. So whoever's watching right now, if you're not subscribed, please go and do that right now. I want to get to 41,400 by the end of this video. So please do that right now. And let's get to the next milestone. We're one away, guys. Come on, we can do it. One more subscriber. Who's it going to be? Right, let's move on to... we're going to talk about Gyökeres and Bryan Mbeumo here. So this is really, really exciting news. This is coming out from United Muppeteers on Twitter. I think he's been quite reliable about Manchester United in the past, so I'm going to read the story out here. So he's reporting this morning that during Manchester United's executive... let me start again. During Manchester United's executive committee meeting after the Europa League final, Amorim told the board to be more ambitious in the transfer window and go for better players. And that same time, They then went about contacting Gyökeres and Mbeumo. Amorim is putting a lot of pressure on Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers to sign these two players. So that's coming out from the United Muppeteers. He also says, my feeling is that we are now in a good position to sign Gyökeres. I mean, it's a little bit strange, the Gyökeres one, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's a little bit strange. Why is no one else going for Gyökeres? Is this something to be concerned about? Or, I don't know. Barcelona have come out and said they're not going for him. Arsenal are in talks with Sesko. I don't understand. Has anybody got a theory on why? Is it because he's playing in a lesser league? I did see someone talking about this yesterday, that apparently in the Portuguese league, I think it's 16 of the 20 teams, their whole squad is worth like 20 million euros. So like put that into context, right? There's only 3 teams in the Portuguese league who have a whole team worth more than 20 million euros. How many teams do you think in the Premier League are worth 20 million euros? None. That is in the whole squad. Every single player's combined value is 20 million euros, which is mental. You know, we're sat here talking about 100 million pounds for Bruno Fernandes, and in the Portuguese league where Gyökeres is playing, 95% of those clubs, their whole team, you know, the 30-man squad is worth a combined value of 20 million euros, which is like, what, 10, 15 million pounds. So, I don't know, maybe that's why clubs are a little bit hesitant that, you know, he came from the Championship. I mean, lots of players have played in the Championship, though. Harry Kane was in the Championship. Jamie Vardy was in the Conference League. Like, it just because you're not in the top league doesn't mean you're not a good player, but I think he's got the most goals out of any players in the world in 2024, right? 24-25 season. He's the top of the goal scoring chart. But even in relation to that, in relation to the Golden Boot, they don't count. I think they count goals in the Portuguese league as half a goal. Does that make sense? It's a little bit strange. I saw a stat the other day and I was like, it said he'd scored like 65 and a half goals. And I was like, how is that possible? How can you get half a goal? But apparently if it's out of the top 5 leagues, in relation to the Golden Boot, they only class a goal as half a goal. So say you scored 50 goals in the Premier League, you would have to score 100 goals in the Portuguese league for that to be worth 50 goals. Does that make sense? It's a little bit strange, but it does kind of make sense. Now, is that why clubs are a little bit hesitant about him? You know, he's performed to a very high level in the Portuguese league. But as I said, there's only 3 teams in the Portuguese league who have a squad value of over 20 million euros. I mean, let's have a look at the Championship as an example, right? Championship teams squad value. So let's have a look. So the Championship, for example, right? This is going to blow your heads today, guys. So Leeds United, their squad in the Championship is worth 189 million euros. The lowest valued squad in the Championship is Portsmouth, which is worth 25 million euros. All the other teams are about 50 to 100 million. So the point I'm making here is maybe that's why people are a little bit hesitant about him, because effectively, let's have a look at League One. This is a good player squad values. All right, this is a really good reference point here, and this will probably prove my argument. So in League One, there are 10 teams that have a squad value of around 30 to 40 million euros. 10. And the rest of them are around 10 to 20. So if we're going off the basis of squad value, right? This is just squad value. So this is how many players are in the team and how much those players are worth. The Portuguese league is probably equivalent to League One, realistically, based on the quality of the players. Let me just double check the Portuguese league. Portuguese league teams squad values. Yeah, so we have a look at the Portuguese league. Yeah, here we go. Portuguese league. Yeah, literally, it's crazy. So obviously Sporting, Benfica, Porto and Braga have all got, you know, expensive squad values, and all the rest of them are like 15, 13 million euros, 17, 20, 10. So maybe that's why, you know, maybe it's kind of the equivalent of maybe the bottom end of the Championship or the top end of the League One. So that maybe that's why, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that's that on Gyökeres. Ruben Amorim wants him. He has a release clause. I think it's 60 million euros. I would still get the deal done. I'm confident that he's a good player. I'm confident that if we create chances, he'll score goals. And yeah, I would definitely go and sign him. But let me know what you guys think about that theory. I think it's quite an interesting topic to have. So I'd be interested to see what you guys all have to say. Right, let's talk about Bryan Mbeumo. Obviously, we know that Mbeumo has reportedly said yes to Manchester United. So yeah, I think Bryan Mbeumo will be our next signing. £50 million is being mentioned in the media this morning. I think that's maybe a little bit too much. Personally, I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. I think we probably could get him for a little bit less, but we'll see how that one plans out. I think anything around 40 million, I think, would be a good deal for Bryan Mbeumo. He's definitely a talented player. He's still only 25. He got 20 goals last season and 7 assists. So, yeah. I would be happy with Bryan Mbeumo. I think he's a decent player. I think he would add a lot to our team. So hopefully we can get this one over the line, and hopefully he's our next signing. Because imagine that, right? Our attacking line would be completely transformed. If we got those 3 players, Mbeumo, Gyökeres, and Cunha, that excites me. And then I guess Bruno would play in a deeper role alongside Ugarte. That excites me a lot. I think that's a quality team. You put Ahmad at right wing back. Left wing back, I think there's still a bit of a question mark. Dorgu, I guess, but I would still look probably to strengthen in that area. And you bring in a goalkeeper. I mean, that's pretty much a whole new team there. Imagine, guys. New goalkeeper. Back 3 of Lenny Yoro, Martinez once he's back, and probably De Ligt. Ahmad at right wing back. Midfield 2 of Ugarte and Bruno. Still question marks about Bruno for me, but let's just go with that for argument's sake. Front 3 of Matheus Cunha, Gyökeres, and Bryan Mbeumo. And then left wing back, again, I think there's a bit of a question mark there. Maybe Dalot plays there. Maybe, what's his name? Patrick Dorgu plays there. Maybe Luke Shaw plays there. There are options there. I don't think there's a standout candidate for the left wing back position at the moment. But I wouldn't say we're desperate to strengthen there. We do have options. Dalot can play there. Mazraoui can play there. Luke Shaw can play there. Obviously, Patrick Dorgu can play there. So, yeah, I think if we could get those positions filled. So, just to clarify, I'm saying new goalkeeper. I'm saying Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo, Gyökeres, and what else do we need? The goalkeeper, obviously. So, yeah, I think 4 or 5 more signings. I still think we need another midfielder, but I think with Bruno staying, I think Bruno is going to now play in a deeper role. Obviously, Mainoo's still here. Toby Collier's still here. Casemiro's not going anywhere. There still are going to be quite a lot of options in that midfield. And remember, we aren't in the Champions League. We're not even in the Conference League. So we're only going to be playing 1 game a week. We don't need a massive squad. So, I think as long as we get the key players in the key positions, we should see a bit of an improvement next season. Somebody in the chat says, do you think we'll still go for James Trafford? I've not heard anything about James Trafford, really, mate. Nothing. I'm sure that they are looking at a goalkeeper, but I think it all depends if Onana leaves or not. And at the moment, it's a little bit hard to say whether Onana will end up staying or going. I personally don't think Onana's going anywhere. I think we're stuck with Onana, whether we like it or not. I think he's here for the long run. I think... Yeah, I can't see him leaving, especially now Bryan Mbeumo's coming. They're both Cameroon internationals, aren't they? I'm sure. I don't think Onana's going. That's my general gist of it, to be honest. So, yeah. Right, I think that's everything we have planned for today. Yeah, I mean, there's a story this morning saying that apparently Manchester United are trying to sell Casemiro. I mean, that's good luck with that. That's not going to probably happen. There's another story this morning saying that Manchester United have told Rasmus Højlund if they receive a good offer for Rasmus Højlund, he needs to leave, which I agree with. Apparently Inter Milan want him. If we could get 30, 40 million for Højlund, I would take it and run at this point. I feel a little bit sorry for him. I think we have ruined his career. I think he had bags of potential. I don't think we gave him the tools to succeed, but it's gone too far now. I think we need to bring in a proven world-class striker. instead of bringing in a player with potential who, as always, we destroy. That's the narrative, isn't it? How many players have we brought in with heaps of potential and we've just ruined? Anthony's another one. Was one of the best players in the Eredivisie, heaps of potential, comes in, and now he's playing for Real Betis in La Liga, but doing very well there, So, yeah, I think Højlund's time at Manchester United is over. I feel bad for him. He's a boyhood Man United fan. His dream move, but it's not worked out, and we need to cut our losses. Realistically, it's as simple as that. Any other stories to quickly go for? There's a story this morning saying that apparently Harry Amas is determined to stay at Manchester United and not be loaned out, and he feels that he can fight for his place alongside Patrick Dorgu. I forgot about Harry Amas. Yeah, that's a good option at left wing back. I would give him a chance. I think Patrick Dorgu's been okay. I don't think he's been that impressive, to be honest. And then there's another story this morning saying that Manchester United will target a striker, a physical midfielder, reinforcements in goal, and are open to adding another centre-back. It will require them to make significant money back through sales. There you go. So those are kind of where we're looking at player-wise. A striker, a midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a centre-back. I don't agree with the centre-back. I think we've got plenty of options there. But there's another story here as well that apparently clubs have made inquiries about Kobbie Mainoo, and selling him is not currently off the table, i.e. he is available. It says, although he is a low priority in the list of sales. Another story as well, this is interesting. Apparently Bayern Leverkusen are interested in signing Antony if Florian Wirtz leaves this summer. Obviously, Ten Hag is the new manager of Bayern Leverkusen. Antony's been phenomenal for Real Betis, and Bayern Leverkusen are about to have 130 million in their pocket from selling Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. I mean, if we manage to sell Antony to Bayern Leverkusen, that would be absolutely phenomenal, especially knowing that they have 130 million in the bank. That would be great. So yeah, that's something to think about. Whether that will happen or not, I doubt. Right. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Feels like a good point to end today's show. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me. If you can all do me a favour, hit the like button before you go. We've got over 600 people watching live now, which is amazing. Please like the video and make sure you subscribe as well. I'll be back live tomorrow morning. If anything breaks in the day, I will go live as always. And yeah, have an amazing day, everybody. And I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Bye for now.